How's it going, everybody? I'm UpNorth Airsoft, and telling by the intro, this review isn't going to be the best. But today I'll be reviewing the Elite Force Glock 18c. And is it really worth the $200 price tag? But that's for you guys to decide. But anyways, let's get into the unboxing. Our journey begins with our standard black Glock boxes that we're starting to become a little more accustomed to. Once you finally open up the box, you are going to be greeted with the Glock 18 itself wrapped in plastic. Also in the box, you are going to be greeted with some extra O-rings for your pistol. Next up is going to be your standard Umarex paperwork. Up next is your manual, which in here is going to show you how to load up magazines and some features about the Glock itself. But I don't like reading these, so we'll put this to the side for now. And lastly, they gave you an extended mag for this Glock 18. It will also be wrapped in its own plastic for you. This extended mag is a little different from some extended mags, which I'll get into a little bit later. But let's move on to some features about the Glock itself. This is built like a traditional Glock, with a polymer lower half and the slide made out of aluminum. Without the magazine though, this pistol does weigh almost next to nothing. The grip right here is textured, but it is kind of a little weird. Kind of reminds me more of a floor mat, but it's not too bad. On the left side of the gun, you are going to find your magazine release, your slide release, and your fire selector switch as well. And in your standard Glock fashion, you aren't going to be given a safety, but more of a trigger safety. But for those that don't know, you have to put your finger around the whole trigger for the weapon to actually fire. On top of the slide, you are going to be given these interesting cutouts. They're not really meant to do much, but they do look kind of nice, and they cut up some of the weight on the pistol. Let's talk about the magazine for a minute. And what I mean by it's a little different. In standard green gas mags, that your gas valve is going to be upside down on the bottom of the mag, but for the Glock 18 right here, it's actually on the back right here. This magazine is nice and well built and can hold about 50 BBs. But when you put it into the Glock itself, it can wiggle a little bit. But that's enough about the body itself. Let's get on to some shooting. This is shooting around 300 to 320 FPS. Which is pretty low for most pistols. Generally, if you shoot this in semi-automatic, your FPS should be a little bit higher, but you definitely have a decrease in FPS when you switch over to fully automatic, which is pretty much expected on most blowback pistols that can have capability of fully automatic. But let's get to the big issue I have with this pistol. I've never had this issue before with any of my Elite Force pistols, or even the Glock series for that matter. When I switch this thing over to fully automatic and get a couple rounds down the magazine, the slide likes to half cock itself just like that and basically jam itself. I'd have to re-rack the slide or just take the magazine out and fiddle with it just to reset it, and once I do that and start firing again, it likes to jam up on me again. Might of you might be thinking that it might just be the gun itself, but this is the second Glock 18 I've had this issue with. I returned this to the store I bought it from to get a replacement for it, and once I finally got it, I had the same issue with this one as well. My thought is it could be just this badge, or hopefully it's not all Glock 18s. I've talked to other techs and watched other videos of the same issue but with other guns, and a lot of people have been telling me it's most likely being an issue with the spring inside. But if anybody knows what the issue could be, I would greatly appreciate it if you could put that in the comments for me. I generally had high hopes for this pistol. I mean, it's made by a well-decent company, and I own a Glock 17 ever since they first came out, and I've never had this issue once before with them. My final thoughts on the Elite Force Glock 18c is I'm a little disappointed. I've kind of expected a better pistol, especially how great my 17 works. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Leave a comment down below on what you think about the Glock 18c or just the Glock family in general. But I think that's going to wrap up the video for now. I have a couple more reviews lined up, such as the KWA Ronin T6 and the Arcturus AK-12. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day.